Okay, so we've seen now what is growth. Why is it important? Why doesn't it happen? And how do we grow new members? And how do we retain them? So we've done the basics about what growth actually is. Now I just want to talk a little bit about setting the example. You as a growth coordinator. So the first thing is you need to look at your own profile. Now, when I look for people in BNI, I'll go to the BNI Connect app and I will look to see who's got their profile filled out. And if the profile isn't filled out, I move on. I move on to the next person. Why? Because if the person hasn't even taken the time to fill their own profile, what is it saying about how they're wanting to market to us? So check your own profiles. Are your own profiles fully filled out? Is all the information there? Because it also helps with when Google searches for your profile, if it's fully filled out. So you can put a video in your profile. So at the end of the day, make sure that your own profile and all the contact details are there and are relevant, and tell your members that. For the life of me, I don't understand why people will put on their profile but will hide their cell number. And what's the point? If I need to contact you, I need to contact you. I can't necessarily wait, but make sure that your own profile is filled in. The next element is some of the reports that you as a growth coordinator can use as a growth coordinator. Well, the first one is, and it's a critical one, classifications not in your chapter. It's a report that's there, it's under reports. You pull it up for your chapter because it shows that all the lists of all the professions that are all in other chapters but are not in yours. So that's a great way of building up a list of people who you want, because you can go to the contact sphere and say, hey, listen, these are the chapters that have, that have a physio. We don't have a physio. Would a physio work for you? In the health and wellness contact sphere. Hell yeah, all right, well, let's contact the physio and see if they have somebody or they know somebody who they could possibly send to BNI. So it's utilizing the contact sphere list or the list of classifications not in your chapter. The next one is when you're going to have a visitor's day. When you've decided you're going to have a visitor's day or a stacker day, go into the visitor report. Pull up a visitor report of people who've been there previously, because they might have been there on their own. Now might be a great time to re-invite them back to the chapter, especially if you're having a stacker day, where the profession before, when they came on their own. Now you invite them with a whole lot of other people, there might be a higher chance that they'll apply to become a member in your chapter. A chapter roster report will show all the members in your chapter, especially if you've got slightly larger chapters, so that you can build the contact spheres. Because sometimes you need to build the contact spheres for the chapters. And if you don't know how to, or you don't know who should be in a contact sphere, give me or your director. Start with your director, guys. Everything I talk about, start with your director. Don't make any changes in your chapter without talking to your director first. And then let them help you build a contact sphere, because they might be able to shift people around. So for instance, a good one is where the trades are super heavy. A way to do that is to split the trades. You can split the trades to an inside the house and an outside the house, so that trades contact sphere is not that heavy. So speak to them about building a contact sphere to help you grow your chapter through contact spheres. When you're going to have a visitors day, it's really important you let head office know. Why? Well, because they'll put it onto the web, and it goes onto your website as also a list of wanted professions that can go onto your website. So let head office know when you're going to be having a visitors day, so that they can put it onto the system. The next thing you're going to look at is in the operations. So that was under reports. Under operations, look at the goals. As a growth coordinator, you constantly need to be monitoring those goals, because in each element of the goals, there is an element of your growth. Because if every profession is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, the chapter will not grow. And if the chapter doesn't grow, well, at the end of the day, it has a reflection on you, because they kind of go, you're the growth coordinator. It's not your role to grow the chapter, but it's your role as growth to ensure that the chapter is growing. And if one element of the growth of the chapter is not performing, maybe you're not hitting the visitor mark, maybe you're not, maybe you're not hitting the amount of referrals in the chapter. If that's happening, that's going to have an impact directly on your role. So monitor the goals every month, because I promise you, most of the time, the leadership team is not monitoring those goals. The next one is Visitors Day campaign with online reminders. When you send that to the visitors, to head office, and people register for the Visitors Days, it sends them reminders that says, hey, listen, we're looking forward to having you. It sends them another reminder before the thing to say, don't forget, tomorrow we're expecting you. So guys, use that element of Visitors Days. Let head office know, let them put it onto the system. Okay, and that's in terms of setting the example. You know, when I talk about setting the example, it's really important that you make sure that nobody can point a finger at you. When you turn around and say, "Hey guys, we need to invite more visitors," ask yourself the question: when was the last time you invited visitors, and not a visitor? As growth coordinator, it's not a visitor you need to bring; it's visitors that you need to bring. Visitors are people who are eligible, not guests. Visitors are people who are eligible to become a member of your chapter, not any chapter, not BNI, your chapter. Otherwise, they're a guest. If somebody comes to your chapter, but you already have somebody there, they're a guest. Okay, so set the example by putting up and showing up. Okay, when I mean by putting up, it means inviting visitors, it means giving referrals, it means doing one-to-ones. That's putting up. Showing up means when you arrive at the meeting, you are on point, you look the part, you do the part. When visitors come in, you are first to go and chat to the visitors. You are setting the example, because when you do that, if your attitude's infectious, is it worth catching? If you're a great growth coordinator, your attitude will definitely be worth catching and will be to the benefit of all the members of your chapter.